Asante-san, everyone. Welcome to the Magic Our Way podcast on YouTube. On this show today, we have Danny, Eli, and I am Kevin. And joining us this week, once again, from behind the scenes is Alan, the video guy. How you all doing, guys?
Oh, we're good. It's late, but we're still good.
That was so very quiet. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Yeah.
As if you had a baby in the house sleeping. Is that what it is?
It's not like he's on the other side of the house. I don't know.
You got to
my-
put the sheets on either side. That way.
Yeah, well, I'm used to my wife coming out and yelling at me when I play video games, and I'm too loud. So I guess I'm channeling that energy right now.
Okay.
You're chanting like her energy yelling at you? Screaming?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, for this show, we are reviewing the second episode of Loki, which released on Disney Plus in the United States on Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. But before we jump into all the details, guys, how about we go around the room and do a quick, turn around and see what you guys thought about the show, this particular episode. Maybe spoiler-free kind of thing to help those that haven't watched it yet. So what do you guys think? I think Eli should go first since he's our Marvel master, and then we'll just work our way around the room. So what did you think of episode 2?
I'd be my honor. Very concise. Very good setup for world building. One part in particular, I like how they got to it, but it's a little, how do I say, lukewarm. Surprised at the end for me, but still a solid episode for sure.
Okay, cool. Danny, what do you think, sir?
Oh my. So would I give the last one a 9?
Mm-hmm.
I think this one would be a 10. I think
wow.
Absolutely amazing. It's easily the best introduction of a Marvel series on Disney Plus, I would say. I mean, I don't know how much we're supposed to get into it here.
Just non-spoil.
Just general. Just non-spoiler.
You know me. I'm gushing.
I'm just saying, like with WandaVision, you had no idea what was going on after the first 2 episodes.
True.
You were just sticking in there in the hopes that this is Disney Marvel. It'll go somewhere eventually. And it did. And then it got your intrigue and you didn't know where it was going, but you were happy to follow on the journey. But you had to stick through those first couple of episodes.
Yeah, it took a while.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you knew where it was going after the first 2 episodes started great, but you already knew where it was going. You're just waiting for them to get there.
It was like it was stuck in glue.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
by the 3rd and 4th episodes lagging, you're like, come on, we know it. Just get to it already. This one has combined the best of it. You started fast, you started great, and you're intrigued every step of the way. I mean, so if we're just judging it by the first 2 episodes, easily the best beginning of a series for Marvel on the Disney Plus network.
Awesome. Very high ratings. Look at that. How about Alan? How about you, sir?
See,
Special guest.
I retract my statement from last week. I was cautiously optimistic. I don't throw the 9s and 10s out there very much, but I'm gonna go with like a 9.5 on this one.
Wow.
I was absolutely just grabbed by everything that happened, the world building, the lore, how they tied it into the greater MCU. It was just a great 55 minutes, and I would encourage anybody that's on the fence about it to watch the first 2 episodes.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a fast 55 minutes for me. I don't know about you guys, but I started watching it during lunchtime, and it's like, oh crap, I got to get back to work.
I watched it a second time just to see.
Yes.
Am I mistaken, or is there really nothing all that negative for me to bring up? I was really having trouble finding negatives.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when you're looking with that keen of an eye, that just goes to show you how good an episode was.
Yeah, second time around, just as fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So for my rating, I'm giving it a 9, only because I want to leave room for the next 4 episodes to maybe outdo it, because I don't know what to expect, and it looks like there's a definite upward trajectory on how the show's going. As I mentioned, the show, even though it was 50 whatever minutes, it flew by for me. I didn't realize it, and by the end, I'm just like, it's like somebody did something early, pulled it out early or something, whatever. I don't know. We can say that on YouTube, but I am. But that's what happened. It was just like, I got to wait a week. It was one of those kind of things, So it was just freaking amazing. And this is not spoiler ridden or anything, but I just love the conversations and interactions between Loki and Mobius.
Mobius.
I love how they interact and talk. It
Yeah.
brings me a smile every time, because it's. But anyway, so any other non-spoiler thoughts?
One thing, I was
One
giving it a 9.5. I didn't give it a rating when I started. I didn't know we were doing the number rating, but that's
Okay.
my number rating.
Go
Yeah, no, I'm just saying 9.5. That's I just wanted to put that.
9.5 is okay.
Yeah,
9.5.
I just wanted to follow up on what Kevin said, where he talked about
Mhm.
every moment those two were on screen. Yeah, it's magic.
yes,
Absolute magic. Like that scene where Loki's trying to
when he
trick
figures
him.
it out.
And he's like, "Yeah, this is all a game. Let's keep going." Let's go. I don't want to say what he says, but when he says, "Yeah, this is all a game. Let's go." And the scene with the salad.
yes.
Oh yeah, that was
love
great.
that.
Yeah.
Again, I made the comparison before, and I kind of feel it's apropos, even though the vibe is different, but it's the only comparison I can think to make. Is it's a Clarice Hannibal Lecter kind of feel but it's different, but it's the same.
I
It's
would,
different.
I would say off of this one, I felt the original 48 Hours vibe, like Kate's Hammond vibe, where they were about to go on the case, but it was a little less a little less. Yelling.
That's another good comparison.
Yes.
48 Hours. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
You have kind of the laid back, easygoing detective and the trickster, the schemer. No, that's a really good comparison. I like that.
Like the little buddy cop thing. Yeah, that's exactly the same feels that I was getting, the buddy cop deal ish, but not totally buddy cop. It's not like Rush Hour buddy cop.
Yeah.
It's totally different, but it was pretty cool.
No, 48 Hours. Yeah, that's
48 hours. Yeah.
If they were
comparison.
if they were like philosophers, yeah, that's the impression that I got off of this episode. So yeah, they're very deep. I am starting to get into the chemistry that they portray, and
it's great. Absolutely great. Yeah.
Hold your attention, especially even through dialogue that you're like, it's flying at you fast and furious, and you're really trying to understand kind of higher concepts in storytelling, if you will, and then just being like, oh, okay, the interaction between these guys has me engaged throughout the entire process. So both guys just do a phenomenal job.
Awesome, guys. Look, so now that we've said our piece on that, man, I want to quickly get into the details if we could, if that's all right. But first, for you guys watching, I want to give you a spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the show yet and don't want anything ruined for you, please hit pause right now, save this video, and come back to us later. And here we go, guys. It's spoiler time. So, all right. So how am I going to break the spoiler? I don't know. Hey, Eli, who the hell is that person at the end that got revealed that was not actually Loki, but was some chick? Who is that?
I don't know. It's just
Did you say old person?
female.
No, some person that was supposed to be Loki, but
Lady
no,
Loki,
no.
yes.
Yeah. Loki. I like
That's Lady Loki. That's a thing.
I mean,
I think it's just Loki, if we're going to be politically correct.
Okay. Loki that identifies as she or possibly they, depending on the alternate universe. There you go. I'm woke, baby. I'm woke.
I apologize. I totally retract my use of the word Lady and Loki.
Yeah, I like that. I think that is I like the build up leading up to that. Personally, that's my favorite scene. I saw it twice.
Mm-hmm.
When he's standing there and the whole room is red. Like I felt like he was pissed. Like I that's where I think I got really emotionally invested in that. But it's cool that it's a Lady Loki, but I was kind of hoping for a crazier kind of variant.
Like the buff Loki, like the one that they showed, like whenever they're going through the different
Loki?
iterations.
Hulk Loki?
Yeah.
Anything that would have been like, whoa, here's some crazy sci-fi alternate time reality kind of thing. But I mean, I wasn't upset, but that was the one thing that kind of put me off because it's like a mysterious figure. They pull off the hood, all that mysterious touching people and possessing them power, and it's just this lady, which ladies have good possession powers too, but
WandaVision, yeah.
Well, okay, so here's what I would say because I do have a theory on Lady Loki or the
She who identifies as
variant
Loki.
who identifies as female, whatever you want to say it.
Yeah.
I do
So,
have a theory on that.
Dan, before you go into that, so this is suggesting to me that this is not in the comic books. That this character that got revealed is new, or is it? I don't know. Eli?
That's not a no. I mean, that's not a brand new thing. But that's an alternate reality. You know what I mean? So
In
Right. Okay.
in the sort of greater Norse mythology, Loki is has no gender. As a shapeshifter, he could be either male, female, animal, anything. So I think that's kind of where they're getting that from.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So,
I
Dan,
would say this. I mean, I remember seeing this, and this is kind of semi-spoiled before the show actually debuted, where people were talking about there being a female Loki, and they were tying it back to a character that was in the comics that was a female Loki.
the character had a particular name. It was just like female
Loki.
Yeah,
just Loki. Yeah.
See, like I didn't
All,
want
all the pronouns Loki.
I didn't want to be like
Yes.
pure, total purist, because I'm opening my mind now to saying, okay, whatever happens, just happens.
Open your mind, Quado.
Absolutely. So I mean, like there's like Loki, agent of of Asgard. It's essentially a character that can change their shape at any time. It's a trickster god. So yeah, there's females and males and whatnot, but I don't want to go and plant my flag just yet. I want to say that there's maybe still more to it, and like maybe towards the end when we say, hey, what do you think is gonna happen down the line? I would say that, but I'll leave it at that.
He's leaving it at that.
I'm leaving it at that.
He's leaving it at that. Okay.
Female Loki.
That's very chivalrous of you. You don't want to plant your flag in Lady Loki yet. So
I've
that's
learned
good.
I've learned my lesson from previous.
So there
episodes.
was a Lady
Yes.
Loki in the comics.
Okay. So that's what I was wondering, because when that scene hit, I was just like, this is a big reveal, but I wonder if it was supposed to be bigger if I knew who that person was. And so that's why I let off with that spoiler. I didn't know if that was somebody big that I'm supposed to be like, oh my God.
It didn't blow
But
me
I don't know.
away. I just was like,
You see, like I want to say a lot of stuff, but it feels like we have to wait until we've naturally gone through the episode to say some of
Right.
this,
that's
because
exactly it.
I felt like the revelation was totally appropriate considering the circumstances, which I believe in. Okay, if I'm jumping the gun, then fine, I'm jumping the gun then. But I believe the whole path that we're taking is that Lady Loki, or female Loki, or whatever we call her, is not a bad person. I think what we're setting up for is that the TVA, well, not the TVA so much as the
timekeepers, okay,
are going to be the bad guys ultimately, and Lady Loki is going to turn out to be
Joan
not
of Arc
so bad.
kind of thing.
Well, I mean, she's clearly up to something. Now, whether or not she's trying to reestablish a timeline that the timekeepers have
The sacred timeline,
extinguished out and reset it, and now she's trying to reestablish it because she lost her whole world and all her people. That's a possibility, and that's a good guy possibility. But I mean, if you look at how typical storytelling takes place and how things are kind of set up, you can I mean, my God, they flash back to the kid eating the candy bar. Which bad guy gives a child a candy bar?
Kablooey.
A very creepy one.
Well, it was her. I think that's how they figured out where she was in time.
That's exactly it. And that's what I'm saying is like, what bad guy would stop and give a child a hungry child?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right.
I thought we were about to go on another 15-minute Mephisto tangent.
No.
Totally,
Good.
because if you notice, Lady Loki only had one horn. The devil in the window had two horns.
I thought it was, one horn.
She's a unicorn.
It was so tiny. It was just
There was one horn, and one horn was broken off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Lost
okay.
it. I thought maybe the kid might have been her, like, shape-shifting.
Well, Marvel Guru.
Yeah. That's what I get. Should never be in a rush. I should pause it when a lady shows up on the screen.
Well, you weren't quick to plant your flag, so that's okay. You're good.
I'm learning to be hesitant.
Thanks. All right, so we want to go through the episode, just kind of hit the highlights through in order. How do y'all want to do
Or
this?
just point out, chronologically what was of interest to you.
Yeah.
Obviously, what I just pointed out, this is stuff that I came to at the end of the episode because, again, just generic storytelling
Mm.
goes to figure that everything that they're saying, this whole idea that they keep coming back to, which is that is free will a part of life, or are you just predestined and predetermined? The idea that you're predestined and predetermined and that there's no salvation for yourself. And so, as that lady, the judge lady, put it, that Loki,
Rain is
Oh.
clear.
I don't know, whatever the name was.
Ramona Slayer.
That girl.
Yes.
The one that said that Loki is an evil trickster, and that's just how the timekeepers have decided that he's going to be. And Owen Wilson's like, you wait, so he can't change? And he's like, well, only if they decree it. The idea that free will is taken away seems to, by virtue, signal that the person who's taken it away would therein be the bad guy. So I think that's what you're leading to here with that whole sense of the timekeepers being a little bit, not necessarily bad. Maybe maybe they've been hijacked. Maybe there's somebody there that's leading them astray. Maybe whatever. There's a nefarious purpose behind what's going on there, and I think the female Loki is going to turn out to be a good guy.
Good guy.
I don't think
good person. Yeah.
And that's
I
not
don't think
that's not a new thing for Loki. That's
Yeah,
kind of
no.
what his whole arc in the MCU has been about in general.
Wouldn't that make sense though? I mean, and I don't think it's all that controversial, or even spoilerish. What I'm saying, if you've seen both episodes,
No, but it's possible that there's gonna be another character that would really threaten the line.
well, and
So
that's
they-
what I'm saying. So
yeah.
clearly, there's still another big bad guy out there. So if we're in agreement that the female Loki is not the ultimate bad guy, whether it's Kang or Mephisto or whoever, there's still another big bad guy.
Big baddie.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Big baddie. Yeah.
it's really tough not to jump into Marvel canon, so I won't. But yeah, typically the timekeepers are usually very selfish people in the books. Whatever they're doing is for their own benefit and not for that of mankind. So I could totally see where that would make a difference. But back to the episode itself,
Mhm.
I think that one of the things that really worked for this particular one was how they got to she who we would name her Lady Loki. I thought that was genius. The thing of her hiding in the only apocalyptic times and then them testing it out. That was my favorite part of that episode.
When they went to Pompeii.
Yeah, they went to
Yeah, that was great.
free the goats, get on out of here. Who wants to hang out? Just who cares what you think? I was like, man, that's like Mardi Gras.
Well,
That's pretty
Everybody's looking at him like, what?
yeah.
That's what I love so much about this episode. So the first episode was all about world building.
Mhm.
We're building this world. We've set up all these rules. The second episode is now let's play in this world. So you remember we talked about a Nexus event before? Let's talk about what that really is. Do you remember when we talked about what reset charges is? Let's talk about what that really is.
See what
and
it
what
does.
that can do.
Yeah.
Right. And now that you've kind of familiarized yourself with all of this, let's talk about how you can hide within catastrophes or apocalypse
Events. Yeah.
as they put it, which to me is just a brilliant concept. And how intriguing is that?
Mm.
Like if you wanted to get rid of somebody, you would just time travel and drop them off, in the North Tower of the World Trade Center on 9/11 at 8:30 in the morning. And then boom, now you've got 10 minutes to escape the tower, or they're going to drop you off on the Titanic,
Yeah.
right after.
Yeah.
hitting the
Yeah.
iceberg. It's like, oh my God, how do you get out of this? And but that I think could
That's all crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna do 9/11, but I mean, because
Well, no, of course.
Soon.
Well,
Right. but I
But,
mean,
you could put him on the plane with a Big Bopper and Richie Valens and all that. So
There you go.
that would work too.
there's so many,
So many.
things that you could do with this, and I would have loved it more if the DB Cooper thing would have kind of tied into this.
Mm.
Where
Yeah,
it's
that was
oh
good.
my God, we have a situation where the plane's going, and then boom, he has to jump out of the plane, and that's how it becomes a legend, that kind of thing. But I mean, yeah, there's so many cool possibilities that you can do with this. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you know what was great about how the story was built in this episode is it had me rooting for Loki.
Mhm.
Which I was every step of the way is like, come on, man, don't let me down. You figure this out. You could do this. And when he got to the whole salad thing, and then he proved this theory in Pompeii, I was just like, yes, this is great, And then they discovered the Lady Loki thing and how all that transpired. I thought that was brilliant. Gave me concern because 2050 is not that far away, but whatever,
What kind of storm does it take to be a Nexus level event? Like, what would Katrina have been a Nexus level event? That's the real question.
It'll create a new category. Category
yeah,
6.
yeah, that was a.
That's what it'll be.
Speaking from experience, yeah, that's it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kevin.
No, I was good.
I was off topic for a split second. It was called trauma. Go ahead.
Oh man, no, that's all I had to say. I just love that whole episode that had me rooting for Loki and hoping that he pulls it out and actually proves his worth, and that he can figure it out. Almost Avenger like. It's like, you could do this, man. You can be a good guy because you've proved it before. Maybe not in this timeline, but in the other timeline and stuff. So, yeah, very very exciting. Great episode.
Unbelievable.
I have two things. First, I think Loki kind of confirmed my theory about anytime they erase a timeline that it's basically zapping all of those people out of existence. He kind of said that. He said it was like a one-off line where he was talking with Mobius and he was like, "Oh, you just like killed all these people," and they kind of ignored him when he said that. But he was kind of alluding to what I talked about last week whenever I said, he's snapping these people out of existence. And the second thing, I am blown away by the cinematography in this series. You kind of were talking about the red at the end, the contrasting colors. He's standing there bathed in red, the aesthetic of the TVA, every time they show something in there, it's just such an incredible world that they've built. And kind of looking at it from a cinematography standpoint, it's just beautifully shot. It's probably from our artistic standpoint, the MCU has been a mixed bag, but the Netflix shows have been a little bit better in my opinion, and Loki so far has been the kind of best cinematography that they've had so far.
Wait, you saying the Netflix like Marvel shows? You talking about this would be on Disney?
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, I said Netflix, Disney Plus.
That's all right.
Okay.
I'm still stuck back in 2008 where it's only Netflix.
Just making sure. No, I just wanted. Yeah.
No, that's a valid. That's a really really valid point that you've made there, Alan, and it leads to one question in my mind. In that, should I just send a text firing Lee now, or should we wait till the morning?
Well, he can still show up with no hassle, Vika.
Yeah, okay, good.
He can still book your trip to Asgard or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it is nice to have another person come out and have the comment like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, no, it was okay." Like,
do you book vacations, Alan?
I mean, I'm a talented person. Maybe
you can book a vacation. We know enough people book vacation, but that's a different. It's a
We
different.
know a lot of people book vacations.
the real question is, am I leaving this in or am I editing it out?
Yeah.
No, leave it in.
Leave it in. We talking about this up.
Yeah.
You got to keep Last Civic on his toes.
Yeah.
But okay, so I really enjoyed your second point, and your first point I thought was a good point.
Yes, cinematography.
No, the cinematography was the second point. First point I was talking about was the whole idea that it eradicates all life. I don't think it eradicates all life. I think it eradicates that which does not fit into the predetermined. Like, if you would have never been there to cause that variance, I don't think all the people at the Renaissance Fair were killed.
I don't know. I hope not. It's really morbid because the Renaissance Festival was a lot of fun, and they were just there. She needed that. She said,
she did need that. Yeah,
that was one of the better parts. When it starts off great with the whole like, "Hey, some of us need this," and then they have the fight sequence too. I need a hero, and again, man, great storytelling, good music, and humor. How do you lose?
It's fun. That episode was just fun.
Not but fun.
Yeah.
No, it's great, and I'm almost sad to say that we only have 6 of these guys, and we only have 4 left. But if the next 4 are the best that we've ever seen, I'm totally good with that.
Let's report it.
We said that about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and what happened in 3 and 4? They kind of like that. I don't think that's going to happen here because with Falcon and Winter Soldier, you were just waiting for them to get to what they need to.
Well,
get
that was
to.
a super action beat, you know.
Yeah, but you already knew Falcon's going to be the new Captain America, and Bucky and him are going to reconcile, and they're going to be friends. You knew where it was going. You're just waiting for them to get there. You don't know where this is going.
Yeah, I have no idea. This is great.
Speculate that again, like what I said, what seems like typical formulaic storytelling, that the TVA is not going to be all that they're set up to be.
Yes,
and that's going to have a lot to do with who the timekeepers really are. And and then that Lady Loki is more than likely not going to be the villain that she's going to be. She's been up to this point portrayed to be. That there is something else or someone else out there, I should say, that is manipulating things, and there's still a new baddie yet to come.
I think I would have to say something, but I think the other thing that helps this show is it works like a detective show. So a detective show, you can kind of stretch that as long as there's breadcrumbs being laid out, because that's kind of the beat that's been, set for you.
Well, and I think there was, because there was the one point where Loki said, look, I'm smart enough to know this, that there's no one out there that's bad that is truly bad. There's no one out there that's good that is truly good.
I love that. I love that line.
A great line. I probably butchered it. I don't really remember the exact quote, but I mean, that really kind of set it up in terms of, what you think you see, there's shades of gray. There's no all good, all bad. There's all shades of gray.
Yeah, Frost ain't that bad.
White hat, black hat, gray hat. There you go.
There it is.
Anything else, gentlemen, that we'd like to say about this episode?
I'm gonna go watch it again. You guys have raised me some, but I didn't even see it.
I know. I'm gonna go watch it again for sure.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I would say. I think that what we saw, because at first when I watched the thing, you see Agent, and I can't remember what all the terrible names were. Agent B, C, D,
C-20,
whatever the hell. They sound like
the one that got kidnapped.
They sound like Star Wars droids. I can't remember the one that got kidnapped.
C4,
C40, CB40.
Thank you.
CB40, UB40. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, all that.
Her. Like he kept saying, it's real.
It's real.
It's totally real.
Yeah.
And there was kind of like this thing of, okay, wow, what's going on? And finally, she breaks down and says, I told them where the timekeepers are. I told them. And so initially I'm thinking, so when Lady Loki drops those time resets, that she's doing it at the exact location of where the timekeepers are.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought. But then when you watch the screen, you see it the second time, they're not looking at where the timekeepers, they're looking at the timeline. And so clearly she's chosen to drop these time resets at various points around the timeline.
I thought it was like I don't know. My visual brain was like, here's the timeline. The timeline has a barrier that keeps it intact. She was breaking that, and then pieces of time was leaking out. That's how I kind of interpreted it.
No,
yeah.
Go ahead, Kev.
I was gonna say, to me, it was like, the timekeepers explain how they're trying to fix all the different timelines and put it into one little cohesive, beautiful little rope. I think she was trying to break them apart at certain times to where they could all exist again separately. So I think she's unwrapped. You know how ropes all twined, little string, and it's all wrapped up together, and that's what the timekeepers are trying to do. I think she's trying to restore what they used to have, which was all those different dimensions spread out, which leads us to a multiverse of madness.
That's exactly where I was going with that. That's exactly what I think that we just witnessed, is that we may have just seen the birth of the multiverse.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
X-Men. All I want is X-Men.
I'm not even touching.
I just want a good X-Men movie. It's been like 20 years. Like, I'll just pick one.
No, we gotta get back on point. Now, I would say this. I was good with the cliffhanger too. Like, I'm like a lot. Loki puts a lot on the line here. Goes right through the timeline. Like movies like, hey, wait. He's like, can't wait for you. A lot of stuff's going on. So I'm kind of like, next episode, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna see where he's going, and then now all the good buddy cop stuff that he built up that whole time when he was going deep undercover and that blew it up. So I kind of want to see how they're gonna have to go ahead and reconcile that together before they meet the big baddie. So I like that whole end scene in general. Like, I love the episode, but that whole compiling of everything where Loki was just like, I'm pissed. I got defeated. I'm gonna do something about it. Like, yeah, I got stuck on board after that.
Deep.
Let me ask him one more question.
Yes.
Oxmart. Like, at the very end, they go to that, and it's supposed to be like a Walmart. But
Yeah, like a superstore, super Target, all that kind of
that
stuff.
felt like it was meant to be something.
I was thinking Roxyon.
What's Roxyon?
Roxyon's like another. It's kind of like AIM.
Is that like Shaka Khan?
Oh man,
But it's
Roxyon.
Oh, I thought it was a video game, Zaxxon.
Oh, okay.
No, there's
not?
Roxyon.
No?
It's like another big corporation, like Oscorp, that kind of thing. But there's like I can't remember the dude's name that runs that. But yeah, they deal in some like big bad stuff too.
Big bad stuff. Roxyon?
Yeah, but that's Roxyon.
Roxyon.
Yeah.
Roxon.
It felt
Box
like
off.
it felt like it was meant to be a homage to something. Second thing I would like to bring up is the analyst that Mobius does not know anything about the Owen Wilson character. They made several from the rings on the coffee table to the pen to the snow globe. They made several references to this agent that the Owen Wilson character does not know about. Now, I'm going to assume that that's closer to our bad guy. What say y'all?
Hey.
Well, I know the character. I did some research on the character Ramona, and apparently, and Eli can correct me on this, but apparently, I think she's in a relationship with one of the timekeepers. And eventually, she gets in a relationship with Kang.
Do that one more time, Kevin. Say it one more time.
What's that?
What you just said. Say it one more time. That she's in a relationship. Go ahead.
She's in a relationship with one of the timekeepers.
What? I kind of.
If it's that character, and I hope you didn't spray your work computer.
No, he's got.
No, I'm in your
workstation
workstation here, buddy.
Yeah,
I know, but your computer's to your right.
I'm taking over Casadea Stoke.
Yeah,
yes.
It's nice and fresh on there. It's gonna be waiting for you when you come back and sterilize. All right. Wow. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but there's some character Ramona in the Marvel universe. I don't know if this article is correct or not, or these different articles that they think that's what that judge is, and so she is in some kind of relationship with. I don't know if it's Kang, it's himself, or if it's one of the timekeepers. But I don't know, Eli. What do you? Is that something, or did I look something that I find like spam or whatever?
I'm not gonna. The internet can always be trusted. To my knowledge, it's only been. Like the timekeepers are aliens. So, I mean, unless they got this weird kind of Captain Kirk thing going on, I've never really known them to really get on with a human. That doesn't mean the story, the narrative doesn't change because it's the MCU. So I don't want to be curious about it. But to my knowledge, never see that happen. Now, if you're saying like Kang or somebody like that, now you're talking big baddie stuff. Because Kang is not one of these three people. These people trained a person like that, but I'm not going to digress and split my own timeline.
Well, just
but yeah,
for your own edification, because I know like you just watch and you don't research, but a lot of people since the first episode has been saying that the middle,
the dude that looks like a fish, or the chick,
they all look like fishes to me.
There's one dude that looks like he would have a mustache, but it's not.
Okay, some people are saying that the middle guy looks exactly like Kang.
No.
I'm with you. I thought Kang was human, and then he put on a mask.
That's it.
And that's what he looked like. He didn't look like a lizard creature.
No, sir.
Oh, yeah. When I was reading, I don't think he's one of the timekeepers, but I think he's affiliated with them somehow, right?
He's in the. Okay, just for YouTube's sake, and Marvel, you're welcome. You can look at Avengers Forever. It's a very nice trade paperback. You can read that. But there's Kang becomes a character named Immortus, and Immortus is trained by the timekeepers to learn how to preserve the timeline. So he's trained in that art. That's the most that I have seen with that relationship. But Kang is not one of those people.
It's like when Snoop Dogg went to Snoop Lion.
Right.
Okay,
yeah, Snoop was Dre's boy, and then then he went to Death Row, and so people were like, well, Snoop, who you with, who you dropping? He's like, no, I'm Law of the Ball. No, these are two different dudes. I don't know what the internet's saying, and I will gladly read it, but I know about a Kang, so no, Kang is not.
You know about a Kang. Okay.
Yeah, I would rather watch Kang destroy the sacred timeline to listen to Snoop Lion's reggae album.
I don't know.
I wish I had that 45 minutes back.
You should
Maybe
watch
they could
Bones.
reset that timeline.
You should watch Bones. That was good stuff. But
You can go shopping at Food Lion, so that'd be good too.
Yeah, better than Roxy Corp or whatever that.
Yeah.
But okay, so what else? So what they're saying that she's got a thing for the timekeeper.
Well, we don't have to dwell on that part. I mean, that's just something. I didn't know if it was true. It doesn't sound like it is, so I'm not even going to put any more
Not to
thought
me.
into that. So that's
Any
fine.
negatives? Any negatives about this episode?
Shoot.
And it wasn't an hour and a half long.
I mean, I loved it all. I loved the librarian. I could have taken more of the librarian. But
Well, the librarian was funny.
But yeah, but if I really have to nitpick, it's really that transference power to me is kind of weak. It's like, hey, what you doing in the middle of a hurricane in the it's like, wait a second, how many looters are actually in this store? Because they were just random people around in that Roxy Corp for this person to just kind of jump bodies with. Like, that was the only part I thought was a little weird, but not enough. I was like, I hate this episode, but that's the only negative I had to nitpick.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, I did like when she went into the bigger dude's body to start fighting Loki, and he ditched the little skinny guy.
I like
That was pretty cool.
I like that.
You liked Randy?
Yeah,
Bring back Randy.
Who didn't bond with Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good exposition moment between the two.
Yeah, my question was this, like, and again, this is like not nitpicking. This is like,
it was a legit
nitpicking.
beef.
No. This is nitpicking the nits off the.
Oh yeah, you get the lit. Like,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean,
The bits and pieces.
like, how can Owen Wilson keep getting a hold of Josta Cola, which was like made for like 5 years in the 90s, but the man can't see a jet ski?
That was a little weird.
Yeah, that was strange.
The only thing I can think of that would fit congruently is that there was one part where Loki's like, I'm gonna gut you like a fish, and the guy's like, what's a fish? And he's like, okay, whatever, I'm just trying. So maybe they don't know about water, like maybe there's no water in the TVA.
They did say that the swallow killed the ecosystem.
And video killed the radio stuff.
There you go. There's no water in any part whenever they go in that world. Like, they look outside and it's just space and stuff. That's possible, but that's a good point. He really wants a jet ski. I felt bad for him. I've never ridden a jet ski.
If I had to predict how this series is going to end, Owen Wilson's going to be riding off in the sunset in a jet ski
before the world explodes.
Yeah. That's what's going to be like.
Well, guys, speaking of video, not to belabor this video any longer, but we just got video bombed by some bearded individual. I have no idea what's going to just sitting there just eating, watching us like a cuck.
I don't know, but when I see Alan and Lee, it's like before and after.
Oh, wow.
Actually,
It's like filter comparisons. It's like 35 millimeter film and digital.
Yes. Lee, what did you think of Loki?
Yeah, what brings you in here, Lee?
I just want to stop in and say, hey, thank Alan for taking my spot.
You're in Nashville right now?
I'm in Nashville. Yes, sir.
Did you watch Loki? Do you have something to say before we wrap up here?
Absolutely nothing.
You're just here for the hang?
That's why
So he literally just video bombed us. There you go.
showed up to just talk about something you got.
But I tell you what, I was about to kick you out because I didn't know what PJ was. I was about to say, oh shoot, we're really getting video bombed because I took off all our security. Not that any of you guys out there need to try that, because I will put the security back on.
GLS security now.
Unless you're entertaining.
Yes.
You too can take Lee Lostavica's spot.
Man,
Exactly.
you do the show. I chimed in there. You just said, I got nothing.
Yep.
No, he ain't got nothing. But look, hey, he arrived just in time to plug himself.
Oh, of course.
Oh, well, go ahead. You want to plug yourself,
He broke his
Lee?
own timeline.
All right, so
man.
if we said everything there is to say.
Good.
I think so. Yeah, there was. I'm ready to hear what the listeners and the watchers have to think about this second episode. I'm curious. I love chatting with them, and let's geek out, y'all. Write to us. Lee, you want to plug yourself, man?
Oh, is that? Yeah, I can. I just wanted to say, hey guys, I was missing y'all.
Oh,
that's really nice.
I hadn't seen you in 2 weeks.
I ain't missing you at all.
I'm missing you at all. Missing you.
So go into what helps makes us money. So plug.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just give me a call. 832-431-1621. That's 832. I missed the show.
So anybody that's new, just in case you didn't know, because he didn't introduce himself, he's our travel agent on the podcast. So that's why you want to
I'm
call him.
traveling right now.
He's not
I'm
just throwing his
happy.
number out there, like throwing it on the bathroom wall stall or something. He
Mhm.
actually has a reason for that phone number.
That's my fans page.
Vacation.
He actually knows
my
how to
fan,
get into this meeting, like, because now you just give the impression anybody can figure out how to hack the Zoom and just get in there and just be like, hey y'all, book me.
Although if you've used a Bucky's restroom in southern Louisiana or Texas or anything like that, then yes, you too can meet Lee Lassiter because he does.
probably
His number is etched on the wall. There you go.
Yeah.
So everybody, look, thank you for joining us on this show. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Also, be sure to hit like and subscribe so that you can get more of our wonderful content. And maybe you hit that little bell so you get that notification when we do post up videos on our channel. So on behalf of Danny, Eli, Alan, and myself and Lee, thank you for watching, guys. Magic out.